Hey guys, Wrestling Throwdown here. I'm Haley and this is Joe, and yes, we are here early again today.
Right, clock in the morning shift.
um, we're going to talk about Raw. Now, it was taped last night. It was taped a few hours before it actually went on. They were in the UK, so obviously. I'm not sure if they're in the UK for just this week or they're in for a few weeks, aren't they? I think they are.
I think it's this week because Hunter and Steph are coming back next week, so I think it's a quick one.
Oh, okay. Because I know they usually take a few weeks in the UK, so I don't know. Um, but I guess I expected a lot of people expected more out of it because obviously it was in England and everything like that, and the crowd's really good and really into it, and usually they have good reactions and stuff. I mean, it had its moments last night, but I think a lot of it was just D segments and D matches, mostly just the matches were.
I would agree in the D matches comment. D segments, I don't know. I think they do a
Some
lot.
of the segments, I think all the segments were like a B minus or higher. Some of them I wasn't a fan of, and some of them were kind of.
There's some Raws that are just complete throwaways. You just get no growth and no evolution of storyline and character.
Yeah.
And I think we got evolution and storyline out of quite a few characters in the show tonight. And I enjoyed the London crowd. They usually pop for their own guys, which they did. But they got into certain segments. It wasn't a Raw to Mania type crowd. It's tough to compare it to at this point.
Yeah. Alrighty, so we open up with John Cena. Obviously, feeding the fans again and everything like that, and says that, like he always does. And obviously, Bad News Barrett accepts his U.S. challenge. And obviously, Barrett gets a nice little pop.
Yeah.
He always does, though. Him and Paige are always the ones that get a nice pop when they're in the UK. And it was actually a good match. Zena's been having good matches lately. Like, this is the third week in a row. And I'm liking the, challenges, too. I think this is making him have these just interesting good matches, because it's against mid carders mostly, obviously, usually, well, portrayed as mid carders, and
Even though these guys are losing to Cena, the goal would be to make it appear that they're on Cena's level while Cena's the U.S. champion. I thought this match really accomplished that, both kicking out of finishers. Very competitive match, two-segment match, great match for Wade, and Wade broke out some different stuff. Cena broke out the springboard stunner to set up the attitude adjustment. He didn't hit the ropes on the 5-0 shuffle, which I thought was actually good because it wastes so much time when he hits the ropes after he does it. Like, might as well just drop it like DiBiase without hitting the ropes.
Exactly. And it's crazy because I was just like, wow, he actually kicked out of his move, and he obviously it looked good. And obviously, people have kicked out John Cena's move many times, but a mid carder, well, someone who's portrayed as a mid carder, it's kind of rare. You don't really see it. I mean, I think Dolph's kicked out of it and everything before, but Dolph obviously is special. Okay, but. So I was actually kind of shocked that he actually kicked out of his move.
Cena and Wade have a lot of history going back to the Nexus storyline. Cena actually went under to Wade a couple of times, including being kind of the Nexus's little servant for a month or two before he got fired, quote unquote, and then buried Wade Barrett in a bunch of ladders, which caused CM Punk to get mad at him and then take over Wade Barrett's clique. So there was a lot of things that made sense then. Forgetting the finish of that feud, there was a lot of history of Cena and Barrett, and many people argue Cena should have put over Barrett in the initial SummerSlam match, Nexus versus Team WWE. Jericho and Edge have spoken out on that in podcasts over the past few months. It's gotten a lot of notoriety. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of all over the place, but I got to give Cena a lot of credit. He's been working good matches in the mid-card lately and setting up for the big angle with Rusev. We saw Lana and Rusev appear on this Raw tonight.
Yeah, yeah, it's yeah, I don't know. It's just obviously I do like do you like the stipulation that they have, at Extreme Rules, the
I'm curious as to what it actually is. Like, is it gonna be like a leather strap match, like they're attached to the wrist? It can't be a dog collar match because those things gotta be outlawed by now. Roddy Piper legit lost an eardrum. Those were
I think
dangerous
it's going
devil.
to be a lot more aggressive. I think it's going to be interesting.
It's different. We haven't seen a chain match, or even a Texas bull rope match in so long, or a strap match, or any kind of gimmick match where they're attached at the wrist. So I like it. It's gonna be physicality. At first, when he brought the chain out, I'm like, "What is he trying to mock Thugonomics, like the old gimmick? Like, why does he have a chain?" But we obviously found out.
Yeah, I do like that Lana's back, though. Hopefully they're not
Yeah,
going to split them up or anything like that.
I thought she got quite the reaction when she strutted out with her little white short skirt.
Yeah. Yeah, I know she had a short movie skit, though, so I was actually expecting her to be out for a few more weeks, but they probably only
Yeah,
needed her for 5 minutes, so they probably just, well, not more, a little more than 5 minutes, probably, but so, because she was gone for, like, I mean, she was gone for about 3 weeks, but it was, like, really weird weeks. Like, I think 2 weeks before WrestleMania she was, and then, like, 2 weeks after WrestleMania. So, I guess it was technically about a month.
yeah. They hit the. I mean, and with those WWE movies, it usually takes only a month to film.
Yeah.
You do a good job at them.
The number one contenders, Divas Battle Royal. Obviously, this was there was only like 7 people. There was only 7 divas. They seriously need divas so bad, and
There
Brie
was more,
obviously wasn't even in it.
there was
That's
more
what's
than
so
seven
funny
in the
too.
Rumble.
Huh?
There was more. There had to be more than 7. Naomi Page,
Um, I
and
mean, there didn't seem like that much.
Marion, Natalia. There was at least 10.
I don't know.
Uh,
I feel like there was
even Marie.
just a lot less than what there usually is. I feel like there's more than what there usually is. But Brie was not there, obviously. Well, Brie was, off commentary. Tamina's back. I don't know why they're not using her too. She's been in
Yeah,
house
that
shows and
was
everything like that.
disappointing to not Tamina not even be in there. I've heard the rumors about Tamina possibly coming back. I did feel Brie joined Nikki, her sister, the fearless Diva champion on Raw. I did feel like there was a little bit of tension with the Bella sisters, and I don't know. They just
Yeah, they said they
Brie.
were gonna break them up, so that's why I was kind of shocked that she actually wasn't even gonna be in there.
Yeah,
But who knows?
commentary. There was tension between Brie and
Yeah.
Nikki.
And Paige won, obviously.
This is her house. This
And
is my
I don't know
house.
if it was because obviously she was in her home country, or if it was because they were planning on doing the Naomi turn, or if it was because they wanted to use it on both. I mean, it was kind of good how they went about it. Obviously, Paige winning, cutting the promo and everything like that. I guess it was not really a promo, but and Naomi attacking her and not liking what she was saying. Obviously, Naomi beat Nikki twice in a row and didn't get her shot, and Paige just wins the Battle Royal and gets it. So Naomi obviously turned heel for the first time. And I know
Yeah,
some people are having different opinions on this. I actually like it. I'm kind of feeling it. I think it's different and it's interesting. Um, and we'll see what she can do with it. I mean, yeah, she's not the best promo cutter, but
I thought she was
she'll
okay.
get better. I think a lot of people get better once they turn heel. So
Yeah.
I think she'll be fine. I think we need to give it time and just see what she can do with it.
I mean, there's the key. She's never really been a heel coming up. She was part of that NXT class. She even noted that in her after interview she had when she was interviewed about the incident. I personally love the way they did this. I really do. First of all, we all kind of expected Naomi to win, but at the same time, it was that slow burn of like she won 2 matches, but they're not giving her the because I agree. She beat the Divas champion. She pinned her twice. She should have got the shot. You know I love Paige. You know that's my girl. It's not against Paige. Naomi should have been the one
Mhm.
to defeat Lee last year had Oksana not broken her orbital bone with the knee for the face botch a couple of years ago last year. So, it's just, it's cool. No one saw this coming. it's interesting because she had the Usos thing on. She kind of ripped it off. Does she? You know, the Usos have also never been heel, really notably. Will Naomi split apart from her husband, Jey Uso, and the Usos? It's going to be interesting how they play this out. I personally loved it. They had to shake things up in the Divas division with AJ's departure. And I think they did a good job of it. Now Paige has definitely the #1 babyface of the roster. Established. Boom. Had a big moment in her hometown. They cheered. And then Naomi got the cheapie. Naomi, you said it's key, has never turned heel. This is not a case of the Big Show or Kane where it's done so many times. They're like, okay, boring, seen this. Even if Ryback turned heel again, it'd be like, really? You did this already? But with someone like Naomi, who was kind of just like the sweetheart of a girl, we've seen her on Total Divas and know she's a sweetheart of a girl, and for her to put in this storyline shows they trust her. It seemed like they were going to give her the ball, but she wasn't really delivering as a babyface, as a potential top babyface. So I think they made the right decision here and avoided having a Roman Reigns type situation in the Divas division. And they kind of sniffed something out before maybe things got bad with a possible Naomi push. So I like what they did with it. It's fresh, it's different. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, and especially with the Bella twins probably leaving soon. And I actually think this is what they're going to do, actually. They're trying to say Paige is obviously kayfabe hurt. Naomi hurt her. So I'm thinking they're going to make this into, like, you know, that kind of storyline they made with Kayla where she wasn't even supposed to win anyways, but they decided to push her after anyways. They fake kayfabe her ankle, everything like that. So I think what's going to happen is, obviously, Paige is not going to be able to fight Nikki, and I think Naomi is going to take that, and I think Naomi's going to win. The Bella twins are going to go on their married way, because supposedly they haven't re-signed, and Naomi and Paige are going to feud.
Good.
I think that's what's going to happen.
And Naomi deserves to be Divas champions. She's never been Divas champion. They did a storyline like this a couple of years ago involving Beth Phoenix and Eve Torres, the host Eve, where Eve Torres won the title, I think, off Caitlyn. Actually, if memory serves me correctly, that was actually an interesting story as well. Yeah. So, I've done things like this in the past. It wouldn't shock me.
Yeah.
I liked it. Anybody who didn't like it, I think, let it play out. Let's see what Naomi does.
I liked it. I'm for it. I don't know why some people didn't like it. I think they're just too quick to judge. Anything different they just don't like, and then they'll complain when it's not different.
Wrestling, don't be TNA where there's like a million heel turns every week and title changes every week, but you need to have some kind of change, and people are actually talking about a potential the WWE maybe bringing back the brand split next year because the USA Network is going to be showing SmackDown, and perhaps that'll give it a renewed, bigger push behind it and maybe bring back the world title and the brand split as a possibility out of it. I think that'd be cool. I think that would help push the other guys and establish the new generation.
Exactly. Speaking of a new generation, the Lucha Dragons versus the Ascension. Now, these guys have fought like so many times now, haven't they? I feel like they have.
Going back to NXT, you're absolutely right. The Lucha Dragons are the ones who beat the Ascension and ended their reign as champions. So they've certainly had an on-or-off rivalry going on since NXT.
Yeah, and the Ascension, they're just making the Ascension look really bad. I'm just over it. Like, I don't even know. It's just, I mean, I'm glad that the Lucha Dragons are looking good and everything like that. But as for the whole tag team division, pretty much, they need stronger heel groups right now, I feel like. Because obviously,
well, New Day's got
Usos, you got your Lucha Dragons, you got your primetime players, you got, so I feel like the only heel group is really Cesaro and Tyson Kidd, and then
New Day.
obviously the Ascension, but
and New Day, they're gonna be heel.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think that's why they're going to turn them heel too. Obviously, because one, it wasn't working, and two, because of the crowd. But I feel like they're just finally, understanding that they do need heel tag
Good place
teams.
to be. The current NXT champions be a dark horse to get called up because they are heel, and maybe if they drop the titles to Enzo and Kaz, they can get a quick call up here because it does appear. I mean, if there ever a time to go find the Young Bucks or go see if I hear TNA 2 months behind on paying their wrestlers. Maybe the Wolves aren't happy. Let Dave heal up real quick. I mean, Eddie. I saw Eddie had the injury; they had to give up the straps. So let Eddie heal up real quick, and maybe they can save the relationship that was already damaged with WWE and the Wolves. They need tag
Exactly.
teams. You bring in Bubba Ray for a one-shot deal. You can't get the Dudley Boys for like a New Age Outlaws kind of run. If ever there was a time, now's the time. Maybe even try to get the Hardys too if Jeff's contract comes up anytime soon.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just, I don't even know. I feel bad for the Ascension, though. People were just, like, so quick to turn on them, and it was just, like, I can see why now, because obviously they were great in NXT, and now they're on the main roster, and now they're using them, like...
Well, it's interesting, because the Lucha Dragons kept their exact gimmick, and it seems like Neville kept, like, 80% of his gimmick, tweaked it a little bit, but thank God it's not the Mighty Mouse thing. It's still a guy that he can make work. So as opposed to before, they're not really tweaking guys as much from NXT to the main roster call-up. So, maybe there's hope for some of these guys, after all.
Yeah.
But the Ascension, maybe they learned their lesson with the Ascension is where I'm going with this. Because they were fine as soldiers of the Illuminati or the Brood type group, whatever you want to say their group kind of embodied. They were fine as that. As soon as WWE tried to make them the Legion of Doom, the fans fucking revolted. They're not stupid, especially the old school fans like myself. They can see Demolition, LOD, and the promos. I mean, primetime player promos have been better burying the current division than which is what they've been doing. Kind of funny.
Yeah, I like what the primetime players are doing, too, with the whole making fun of each, tag team, including faces, too. I think that's hilarious. I think they're going to come back strong.
I think the Matadors are going to turn heel, too. I think they're kind of teetering as healers.
And they need something because the crowd isn't into them, and it's just they've been a jobber tag team for so long. So
Titus O'Neil made the joke that you have Puerto Rican Matadors, which if you know the real deal, Primo and Epico are Puerto Rican, so it really doesn't make sense to Puerto Ricans playing Mexican characters, but you have a Bulgarian playing a Russian, whatever it is. What it is.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, they need something. I don't even know. I don't know who's really running that whole tag team division thing, but I don't even know. I know Jimmy Jacobs, though, is on WWE Creative Team now, though, so hopefully we have some hope.
Speaking of ROH, the Briscoes are also very highly rumored to be signed, so they would be a great acquisition for the tag team.
Yeah.
Briscoes and the Young Bucks would be the two I would look at.
Yeah, I agree. I just hope they don't, do anything like the freaking Wolves did. The Wolves, missed their chance, like you said. They messed it up because Davey couldn't, swallow his pride, I guess.
The Young Bucks might have done the same thing because they were offered an NXT deal in September, but chose to renege on it because of their involvement with Japan and everything else.
Yeah. And sometimes they don't really want it. I mean, yeah, it's great to always work for WWE, the big company, more money. But like what CJ Parker said, sometimes you're just better off. You're better than that, and you don't want to. And this is what CJ Parker said before he, made his release. He said that, some of those guys in the back are just happy to be, working for WWE, and they could care less where they put them. But it's just like, he goes, I care. And I care if I'm being, a job or something like that and laying down for someone for 5 minutes. He goes, he's like, oh, that's why I'm better off in the Indies. And I loved that. I respected him for that. I agree with that.
No, that's what they turned him into, and everybody who debuted whooped his ass. Although he got he broke Kevin Owens' nose. I mean, that was interesting. Like I'd never seen him break anyone's nose with a face palm before, so was interesting how that seemed like almost a message to like the new guys coming in taking his spot, like knowing that Kevin Owens was going to get pushed, for him to kind of give him a seat, possibly, as we like to call in the business.
And people are into him too, like the wrestlers on the roster and stuff, like Seth. Seth really is into him. Seth actually, I don't know if they were good buddies or something, but Seth always tweeted about him and said, like, him and Tyler Breeze were like, he would always tweet about them and say, like, oh, here we go, here's NXT. These two are the stars of the whole night. So
Tyler Breeze has really launched himself as a huge star, but I think he could be the next Dolph Ziggler. But with he just went the complete other way, and he did have potential at one point. I haven't followed all of NXT just since it's really been on the network the last few months, but he clearly had some potential. But there's so many guys there. You bring in a Finn Balor, you bring in a Kevin Owens, you bring in a guy like Rhino, you bring in Hideo Itami, who Hideo Itami's actually, besides the Andre the Giant Battle Royal appearance, kind of been a jobber there. When you think about, he kind of put over Breeze in this feud. He put over Finn. He's put over a few guys now.
Yeah, I think there's a point to that, and I talked about this. Me and Minor talked about this in our NXT video. He obviously, I don't think he's going to be called up right away anyways. I think that Tyler Breeze is before him, obviously, and that's why he's putting over these guys because they need it more than him right now. So,
agreed.
Yeah.
But him breaking out the GTS, that's going to be a game changer for him.
Yeah.
And that's great that he did. I'm great that the man who invented that move is taking it back, because the man who took it clearly doesn't appreciate that or any aspect about professional wrestling anymore. So good for you, Kenta Hideo. Good for you, buddy. Take your move back. I'm rooting for you. Hope the other guy gets his ass whooped. Check out my video on the channel for more thoughts on that topic.
And this is what you really like, the Roman Reigns promo. Obviously he is getting better with his talking. I kind of like that he's almost like, I don't know, I sense a kind of like a cockiness to him a little bit too. Kind of like John Cena. When John Cena, toys with the fans, they both kind of have that cockiness edge to him. Kind of feeling it. And he still needs to work on his cardio a little bit better. But that's why I'm kind of scared about this match, Big Show versus Roman Reigns at Extreme Rules. Obviously, it's probably going to, turn. Obviously, Bray Wyatt is going to get involved in this somehow, but that is the word, anyways. But
do we know for a fact Bray Wyatt's targeting Roman Reigns? I'm not so sure he's targeting Roman Reigns.
That's the word that he's supposed to interfere in the match, and that's why him and Roman and Big Show are supposed to have some short feud. But who knows? I mean,
hey, what if
he really hasn't even. I feel like he hasn't even talked about anyone. He's really just kind of talked about himself, kind of like saying how he's the new face of fear and everything like that.
What if it's Sting? Undertaker and Sting? We're talking about maybe in the house. What if it's Sting?
Yeah. I mean, it depends on what they have for Sting's contract and what they,
we don't know.
Yeah.
Except that we were quiet. We knew he had 6 appearances going into Mania. He did one the Raw after Mania, and he hasn't been seen since. So I have a feeling that we may see a few matches out of Sting before time.
Or even set it up for SummerSlam,
He's going to retire against Undertaker and put Undertaker over. Undertaker, I don't think, is going to put Sting over. That's why I was so mad at Triple H didn't put Sting over, because I knew he was going to put Undertaker over. That's just the way that has to go. Undertaker's going to lose his last match in Dallas? I don't think so.
Yeah, maybe. I don't think he will either. I think it's probably because they want him to look stronger and everything like that. And I mean, Brock wasn't even supposed to defeat him anyways. It was supposed to be CM Punk, but yeah.
It was Paul Bearer dying. If Paul Bearer hadn't died, I think CM Punk would have.
Yeah. Yeah, and that was the big reason why they switched the card on that, because they felt like he needed to get revenge, and they felt like that would be messed up if they had him lose that and everything like that.
Although it would have made sense with Paul gone, the aura of The Undertaker. It would have made sense.
Yeah.
At least there was that plausible possibility in your head the way they did the storyline. Where Brock, if anything, it was a really shitty build, and that's why everybody was so shocked, because everybody was like, all right, it's going to be business as usual, going to be a great match, Brock's going to push him to the limit, but Taker's going to take it. And we all know history changed that.
Yep.
And personally, I think for the better. I think it has benefited Brock Lesnar to the best of possibilities.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't redo it at this point. It is what it is.
Yeah. Everyone was talking about how bad the choke slam was that Big Show gave Roman on top of the car. I don't know. I thought it was fine. I mean, they're both kind of. I mean, Big Show's really obviously not. I mean, he can still obviously move, especially for a big guy. But I mean, obviously he's in his 40s. It's not like he's gonna like be like how he was like 5-10 years ago. So I can understand why he's not as, I guess. But I am a little worried about this match, though, how it's going to go, because obviously they both kind of, Big Show can Big Show can keep up, but I think as long as the other person can keep up, though, Roman should be able to keep up. So we'll see. They'll both be fine. And Joe, did you freeze? I think you did. Hopefully the whole thing didn't freeze. I don't think it did. Anyways, I guess before, while we're waiting for Joe, we can go to the next match. Randy Orton versus, well, it started off with Randy Orton versus Cesaro, and obviously Tyson Kidd got involved, so it turned into a DQ. And then, so they added, Kane came out, obviously, and made it a handicap match with Cesaro and Tyson Kidd versus Randy Orton. And it was just quick kind of match. Randy obviously got the victory on Tyson Kidd, nothing too big on that. Obviously, this whole thing was that he could pick his stipulation if he won. And so obviously that upset Seth backstage, and so that's why they made the whole Seth versus Kane thing, so he could pick a stipulation too. So for obviously Extreme Rules, but we'll get into that more, I guess, at the main event. But nothing special there though with Randy. Alrighty, Dean Ambrose versus Adam Rose, and this was another throwaway match. Nothing special here. I feel so bad for Dean. They're just kind of like putting him. I mean, at least he got a victory this time, but I mean, it's against Adam Rose, and wasn't Adam Rose supposed to be turning heel and lose the Rosebuds too? What happened with that? I don't even understand that. I don't know what's going on with that at all, but whatever. Dean obviously is going to be feuding with Luke Harper though, so for the time being anyways. So we'll see. I feel like they're running out of people for Dean to feud with now. I feel like they're kind of like losing the ball with him, and that's why I thought he was going to turn heel soon, but we'll see what happens with Dean. And Joe is still not back, and hasn't told me he's losing connection or anything like that. Let me see. I'll message him right now. I'm sure he's just got a phone call. That's probably what it is, because he's on his phone, so he can't obviously. It's not like he's missing anything anyways. These were just jobber matches anyways. I do want to hear his take on this now. Fandango versus Stardust. And obviously Stardust got a quick victory, and people are kind of speculating on whether Fandango actually turned face last night. I think he did, because he's kind of been teasing it for a few months. I don't know if like you guys keep up with like Main Event or Superstars or anything like that. I just kind of like look at clips sometimes if I'm interested in the match, or just kind of see what's going on YouTube. You can see the clips, and he kind of had this feud with Adam Rose going for like a few months, and Adam Rose obviously being the heel and him getting and Fandango obviously getting cheered and acting like a babyface and winning all these matches. And so, and even after, I think he feuded with someone else that was a heel too, but he kept getting these babyface wins, and so now he's kind of beating. I mean, he was kind of being portrayed as a face too in this because Stardust obviously is a heel. So, but after the match, he did lose in a quick match, and he grabbed the mic and he said that he thinks he knows what the problem is, and he says he's with Rosa and he doesn't want to be pretty much, and he brought back his old music and broke up with her, and he started dancing with the fans, and the fans were really into it. Obviously, that was the biggest pop of the night. So. Obviously, I guess this is a face turn, so I guess we got a heel and a face turn. And then obviously with Kane teasing his face turn, so we got a couple kind of turns, I guess, last night. But I'm really feeling this. I think this guy is a good wrestler. I really do. And I think that this was the best thing they could have done for him. I think he needed to be face a long time ago, but I think they kind of waited a little too long, but I guess it's better now than never, so... You know, at least they're going to hopefully push him maybe now. I don't know. And Joe's coming back. That's good because I did want to hear his take on this. But what do you think about Fandango technically, I guess, turning face? Do you think it's going to help him? I mean, what do you think? You think he's a good wrestler too, right?
I'm a fan of Johnny Curtis Fandango. Like Damian Sandow and Kofi Kingston, he is a New England guy. I like Johnny Curtis for a very long time. I'm hoping he can make this work. They brought back the old music. They were fandangoing. It was really cool. You know, I thought the crowd really popped to bring back the old Fandango music, and he kicked Rosa to the side, thank God. So I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was definitely the biggest pop of the night. So I think that this can help him, hopefully. And I was telling them, our viewers, I think that this face turn should have happened a little bit sooner. I think this was kind of late, but you know what? Now is better than ever. So.
Well, they're going to put the IC title on him when he was getting the push initially, and that probably would have turned him babyface. Yeah. But he got hurt, and plans changed. So.
Yeah, that really upset me. Yeah. So hopefully he can get his push back from this. I don't think he doesn't need a dance. He doesn't need a dancer anyways. Obviously, he has a bad gimmick and everything like that. But once maybe if he's face and everything like that and loses dancers, maybe he can make it work.
I mean, he said it right. He's lost to dance for everyone, not just for one little ring rat named Rosa Mendez. Yeah, I said it.
Seth versus Kane, and this was obviously Seth, like I said, Seth wanted Kane to lay down for him and everything like that.
Haley,
he could pick a speculation too, because Randy obviously, with him winning his the other night, he obviously got to pick the speculation. So stipulation. I mean, sorry.
Hey, do you think this segment is what really drew a lot of negative criticism from people?
I don't know. I kind of enjoyed it. I thought it was a solid B. I thought this segment was
B, so. I don't know. I mean, bringing up the old WCW, me as a fan of professional wrestling, I never liked it when they had guys lay down in storyline. I mean, I liked how Kane laid a beating on him and then did it, but it's still, obviously, it seems like he's going to turn something out of this. I like the promo he had with Bryan right before the match. That's one thing I will say. They kept having everyone talk to him.
Exactly.
Him action was pretty cool.
Yeah. And obviously he didn't turn full-blown face. He did, choke slam Seth and everything and beat him up and everything, but he still let Seth win. He pretty much, dragged him over him and everything, so and let Seth get the win, so obviously, but Kane wasn't out there at the end or anything, and he didn't do anything else, so well, I guess we'll just have to wait to see next week what happens. obviously nothing's going to happen too
Yeah,
much right now because there's only one more Raw until Extreme Rules. I don't know how much really they can do with that.
Well, here's the thing, Haley. Kane can say in storyline that he's fully responsible for Seth Rollins' championship run because he always protected him with the cash in. He was the one who helped him out when Seth won the briefcase in Boston. So, you know, Kane may turn on him on that alone, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
yeah. I mean, I don't know why people were sour about this. I guess obviously because of the laydown and everything like that. But I thought it played out well. I don't really understand why people were like upset about this because Kane still, you know, obviously acted face in this, and people in the crowd was into it and everything like that. So nothing really special though. He's like a Big Show. He's turned heel and face so many damn times. It's not really going to help him, but.
For me, the idea of a Hall of Famer, and Kane is a future Hall of Famer, laying down for anyone, it does bother me. It bothers me when people, it just kills the suspension of disbelief. Like, as an old school fan, it does. And I survived through the infamous NWO incident where, I'll tell you the story. It was literally the day after Starrcade when Nash and Hall screwed over Goldberg and beat the streak with the taser thing, and Nash beat Goldberg streak, was the new world champion. And people were into Nash, even as kind of a tweener. They were into him. And what they did was he fought Hogan, who was coming out of retirement, quote unquote, the next night on Raw. Oh, by the way, in the Georgia Dome, where they freaking had Goldberg win the title the previous year. So, and then Hogan, you know, we've all seen the clip. Hogan puts his finger on Nash. Nash takes a bump. The NWO reunites, and it's one of the worst things that ever happened in the history of wrestling. So, for even to like kind of mock it, it's just one of those things that, like, I don't know. It put a sour taste in my mouth, I guess. I think I'm not the only one who felt that way.
Yeah.
I like the idea of the Authority falling apart and Kane maybe getting one last run as the Demon and then retire.
Yeah. Yeah, people are saying, you know, he's going to bring back the mask and everything, too, but it's just like, I feel like it's kind of pointless at this time to bring back the mask, but...
Yeah, I mean, it's all pointless. It's the point with Kane. It's all pointless.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on with this, but Damien Mizdow versus The Miz. I don't know if they just, like, they don't want them to have their feud on a pay-per-view, or they're going to have them feud for, you know, a while on Raw, and then they're going to have their big match on one pay-per-view, which I guess that's better than nothing. I guess that makes more sense, but I don't know. It's interesting, I guess.
Mizdow got his win back from last week where Miz beat Mizdow pretty quickly. I wasn't happy about that. And now you have, I kept wanting to call him Maurice, Summer Rae joining Damien Mizdow. And this whole thing is interesting how they kept it going. And they're still using the music and the gimmick for Mizdow and everything. And him uses Miz's moves. And using Miz's moves better than Miz uses them. What's the irony of it?
Yeah, I do like. I don't know if the Summer Rae thing is gonna last. I think the only reason why they're obviously doing it is because she's in the Marine Corps with Miz, and it's coming out in what, like a week, 2 weeks.
Think about this. The Miz could say, "Screw Summer Rae. I don't care about her. I'm married to Maurice." You could maybe get a mixed tag of Miz and Maurice versus Summer Rae and Mizdow. I think that'd be pretty cool. And in many ways, Summer Rae could be Maurice's Mizdow because they do look like doppelgangers in their own right.
Yeah. I just think it's funny because they always, like with Summer Rae, they use her for like a face when it's like with other guys and stuff like that, and she's usually catering to the baby face, but like when she's just a diva and stuff like that, she's always a heel still. So I don't know, it's interesting.
Good point.
Ryback versus Luke Harper. Obviously, this was a throwaway match. This was just a DQ and everything, and then obviously with Dean Ambrose coming out and furthering obviously that he was going to face Luke Harper at Extreme Rules. So
Dean's finally going to get a win on a pay-per-view. I can feel it, finally. Luke Harper sucks, but finally Dean's going to get a win.
your mic's cutting out really bad.
Can you hear me better now?
Yeah, that's better.
Dean's going to get his big win, finally. Finally he's going to get a win.
I think he is, too. I think he is. It wouldn't make sense for Luke Harper to win this. I mean, yeah, I like Luke Harper and everything like that, but I think Dean needs this win more than him right now.
Agreed.
And Ryback, I don't even know what they're doing with him, so.
Ryback's in an interesting place because Ryback's over everywhere he goes, but there's really no plan of him getting any kind of main event push, so he's kind of like
not having a match or anything like that, so it's interesting, I guess. This was definitely the match of the night. I gotta say, definitely some positive things. That's probably gonna make Paul Jazer smile. Dolph Ziggler versus Neville. This was a great match, and I think I was wrong. And I will tell you this: I think that they are actually finally showing that Neville's more of his in-ring ability and credibility and high-flying moves more now than they did in NXT. I feel like he's doing a lot more. I don't know if it's just because of the guys he's facing, because he just fought two great wrestlers. I don't know what it is. But he fought great wrestlers in NXT, though, too, so it doesn't, I don't know. Maybe he just connects more with these. Maybe they're just, I think they're more of him. I think they're letting him show more of himself. The 450 splash off the barricade, I loved that. I thought that was extremely awesome. I can definitely see why people are saying he's the best high flyer. I can definitely see that now.
The people that are
comparing him, I can't take that from him.
Yeah. And that's the thing. He's more than just a high flyer. He is a great wrestler. And that's why he's more than just an Evan Bourne or other people that have been compared to Neville. I think Neville has the cockiness. He's got, for a short guy, he's jacked. He actually reminds me of Macho Man, believe it or not.
He is. I was looking at that last night. I'm kind of glad you brought that up. I was like, God damn, he has a body on him.
I mean, Ziggler's not a small guy, and body-wise, he's bigger than Ziggler.
Yeah.
Not height-wise, because Dolph's obviously taller. But he's pretty. He carries himself well. Like, I think he's got the look of a possible main eventer, and he obviously is a great worker. I mean, hey, in the next few years, I think he could be world champion. I think Finn Balor has got a better chance at being a world champion. I think it could happen.
I like him. I mean, the thing is I'm gonna compare him and Roman for a minute. The thing is with Neville's great in the ring, and Roman still needs a lot of work. So Neville can have bad promo skills. He really, I mean, his in-ring work makes up for it. But Roman, he's lacking kind of in both right now. He is getting better at his promo skills, though. But he's lacking in both, so that's why it's kind of like it's hard for me to actually think that he's good.
With the Brock match, Haley, you didn't like his work in his visit to Suplex City?
Yeah.
I liked his work. I thought they kicked the shit out of each other. It wasn't what I expected.
I did think that was a good match. Yes, I did. And it wasn't just because Seth cashed in and everything like that, because I was into it even before. I thought I liked the blood, I liked just everything, the physicality to it. I loved it.
I rewatched it specifically. I watched Wyatt Undertaker again, but I wanted to specifically watch that match again, not just for the cash-in, but for the simple fact that like they beat the shit out of each other. I mean, he had Brock Lesnar bleeding in the first 90 seconds. That says something. I mean, he definitely gained. I mean, I always respected Roman. I was definitely like starting to be like, all right, well, what's going to happen to him? Is he going to be another Bobby Lashley, or is he going to finally break through that? You know, is he going to eventually break through this rather? And tonight, promo, I'm telling you, it really impressed me. I know my phone actually ended up cutting out and dying while we were doing this segment. You know, he took good heat from Big Show. Oh, you know what I mean? Like he hasn't really taken a lot of heat, and now like he is, and I'm not saying he's the best seller in the world. He's no Ziggler or anything like that. But he's got the look of a star. He's starting to conduct himself like a star. And that's, you look like a star, you act like a star, you work like a star, you are a star. He's got the work ethic.
I think they pushed him a little too early, and I feel like now once he's finally going to actually, get himself together in these next few months, I think that it can work for him. But I feel like if they made him, win, obviously at WrestleMania, I just think he wouldn't have been ready. I think now that they're actually building him up more and, letting him have these feuds, and I think the Bray Wyatt feud will help him too. I think that he'll finally, but Neville, though, I'm really starting to feel Neville. I really am. And I'm glad he's proven me wrong. I had a feeling he would prove me wrong because it's just like everyone kept saying, like, Haley, are you nuts? Well, how can you not think he's good? And it's not that I didn't think he was good. I felt like he wasn't showing me why I think that he could be a main eventer. But after last night and everything and the match he had with Seth last week, I definitely can see now that he definitely has the ability to be a main eventer.
Just the presentation is so different. Like, he could work fast paced, but he could ground you and work like a good Kurt Angle type wrestling style too. He's got versatility. He's more than just the Red Arrow. Like that's what to me makes him a real big investment for the future. Is he's got that versatility, and I don't know if he's a great promo guy, but I think he's
he definitely needs to work on his promos, but the in-ring ability.
I thought his feud with Sammy. I thought he did okay promos in his feud with Sammy. Other than that, they were kind of blah. But I thought his feud with Sammy.
Yeah, and that's when he started getting good. Yeah, when they kind of teased that heel turn. I do think that I don't know. It's like he's good as a babyface, because obviously I don't want them to, make the cheap thing of making him kind of like a cheap heel if he turns heel and not have as good in-ring ability, kind of lackluster, obviously when they turn heel. But that's why I can't wait for Seth to turn back babyface so he can actually really, But yeah, I think that he needs something like get that cockiness back to him or something.
He'll lose the title before he's a babyface. I will tell you that much.
Yeah. And then obviously the closing segment. I think they could have done a little bit more for the closing segment, but it was a solid B. Obviously Randy and Seth both could pick a stipulation, and Seth chose that Randy can use the RKO. So obviously the punt is coming back. They probably trust Seth to take it, obviously, because it was a dangerous move and it obviously got banned and everything like that. But obviously,
I don't think Seth's taking a punt. I think Seth will be losing the title if he takes a punt.
I don't. I mean.
People don't get up in the Orton.
Again with that too, supposedly Seth's going to be a long-term champion too. I guess he's supposed to have this thing for a long time, but I see till SummerSlam too. I see a good 4 or 5 solid months for the first one, but that's just my opinion.
Yes, and you want to know why? Daniel Bryan. Last year, Daniel Bryan was supposed to have that run till SummerSlam. It didn't happen. So now that Brock's finally the title's back on a full-time guy off Brock, that the champion needs to be established for a few months, consistently defending the belts, even if he's winning in slimy ways. At least he can consistently be defending the belts. And at SummerSlam, who knows what's going to happen? That's the great unknown at this point.
Yeah. Well, and then Randy was saying that he doesn't want the Authority involved, so he's gonna put it in a steel cage match. And I just go, really? They're gonna still get involved. So I feel like that was just like, I feel like it would be almost better if he said the Authority.
They'll get involved because they'll remove the element of Randy being able to get out.
Or if the Authority gets involved, Seth loses the title or something like that. That would have been a better one too. It's just like, obviously they had a key, but still.
You don't like steel cage matches, Haley?
No, I do, but it's just, I just think it was kind of silly for him to use that reason, keep the authority out, when you know the authority isn't going to come out or stay out.
How about this reason? Seth, to this point, has been the most runny, squirmy champion I've seen in quite a long time. How about that cage keeps Seth in where he can't run anywhere, and he's all right.
Yeah, that's true.
So, RKO or no RKO, you're in there with the apex predator inside the steel cage, and yeah, it will limit the authorities' involvement. It'll at least create a barrier for them to try to get through, but it'll let Orton have a one-on-one chance where he probably wouldn't have a chance to win had this been a non-cage type environment where they could easily get involved.
Yeah, exactly. But I do think that there's something else should have happened. I guess it really. I guess I don't know. I feel like it was they just get kind of lackluster. I do think that this was the better ending segment than it has been for the past few weeks. I do think that was a step up, but I still think they're kind of lackluster in the last segment a little bit.
I feel like the third hour is killing it, and maybe with USA getting SmackDown, as I brought up earlier in the broadcast, maybe we'll shave off that third hour, because that third hour is getting to be a bit much.
Yeah, it is. It's like after 2 hours, I'm just like, is it over yet? As much as I love it.
Sometimes I'm glad I go to work at 10:40. It's like the best stuff's already happened. I'm like, I know they're not going to pull no shocking stuff. Only the week Sting came out and had Orton's back that they do something good at the end.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, really good.
It's so predictable. It's just,
Yeah.
Alrighty, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to tune into the Strike Zone this Thursday. Who are you doing?
That is best for business. If you tune in the Strike Zone, Jay will be working the Pawtucket Red Sox game, doing camera work. So it's just going to be me and Sorkin. Gonna be taking a lot of calls. Kind of a free format this week. I think we're going to have a wrestler from ICW calling in to promote their show on Friday, May 1st. Possibly one of the FBI, Nunzio or Tony Mamaluke, but nothing's guaranteed at this point. Possibly another person who's on that card. So I could see someone from the ICW card calling in. Maybe Amazing Red, who's on that card. Yeah, there's some possibilities there. Other than that, it's going to be open forum. So, get your call in. It's going to be baseball talk, a little bit of wrestling. Certainly some basketball talk with the playoffs coming. Hockey talk. My Bruins are eliminated. They're ready to come for the coach and the GM with Pittsburgh. So a lot of drama in Bruins Nation right now. We're going to get to all of it this week here in the Strike Zone, 90.7 WXI and RICradio.org. Thursdays, 8 to 10 p.m., where we keep our arguments over the plate.
Alrighty. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter. Don't forget to join our Facebook group if this is the first time you're watching this. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.